The forge has gone quiet, the bellows blow no more. The forge has gone quiet, the smiths have gone home. Only fading embers remain, and my hearth grows cold. One kiss from you to rekindle it all.
Okay, and we're back for episode 10 of Queen of Embers, and we had stopped at the point where Terwin and the others were approaching the corpse of Druce, the Pict, the vicious Pictish slaver that was apparently found in the back of this local fisherman's dinghy. The body is lying kind of prostrate on the broken cobblestone ground. It's dark, it's night. The torchlight kind of casts these strange shadows all around. You can see above you, Elisa, the constellation the Lyre, as it's called. It is the one that is ascendant during this time. Particularly it is ascendant because where the G string meets the harp, there is a single burning star called the Leviathan's Eye. It burns blue. It is believed to be the star that lovers and others would wish upon to see that their unrequited love be returned. Particularly on Penumbra, because it first appears during that time in Penumbra. You can see that the mirror, the moon as it's called, or the moon as you know it as, is beginning to wax, the thin sliver on the horizon. But even below the Leviathan's Eye, that baleful blue burning star, there's still very few people in the street at night. It is only perhaps 7:30, 8 o'clock at best.
Alright. If you don't mind, you two stay with them. I'll chat with you for a bit.
I'll pull out my flask and hand it to him. It's a good job.
The flask for what, I'm sorry?
I'll pull out my flask and hand it to the stevedore.
Okay.
The one who brained him. That was a good job.
He nods and we'll take a drink.
Like, he's wearing quilting, does he look like the horse taker?
I'll tell him I'll warn him to pass it to his buddies.
Okay.
Well, yeah, you guys did a good job. I'll keep telling him, congratulating him. A little bluster, bluster.
So, I'll be whispering, but, obviously for the microphone I won't whisper, but, hey. You being American, you were sent to school, right? You got your education?
Yes.
Some not seem right to you. It's your educated mind. Like, get this. He says he sneaks up on him and he brains him. And he was naked as the day he was born. And when I ask about his shoulders and him being bled like an hunted stag or something like that, he says he was already like that. So he's already dead because he doesn't have any blood in him.
Well, you also said that you saw him last night. And there's also the fact that his body seems to be bloated, like it had been in the water for quite some time.
Wait, how long does it take to bloat a body?
More than the time that you would have been there, I would assume. I mean, when did you last see him? What, a day from now? 24 hours ago?
I don't know.
Maybe less?
Me sleeping's been thrown off.
Right, but you said last night is when all of this happened, yes?
It would have to be more than 24 stones turn, because I took a tincture and I'm on my second one. So we're thinking 36 at most.
So it hasn't been that long, is what I'm saying, and he says that it happened last night. He found this man and brained him, is what he said, so...
Naked as the day he was born, and being bled out first.
And bloated as though he's been in the water for days.
Yeah.
Something doesn't add up, no. I would assume it would at least... I mean, I'm not medically trained. Educated, yes, but medicine is a bit different from that, but...
It's more than I've got.
I would say that no, timeline does not match up, which is why I asked when he found him. So unless you're lying, which I assume not by the state of your members.
No, I lied about other things.
What?
I said I'd have lied about other things.
Ships.
Yes.
And fire.
So, alright. Thanks for the insight.
But no, it does not add up, and I don't necessarily believe these men. No. Also, if he was bloated, he most likely was not alive, so why would you brain him?
Yeah. Why would you? Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so we'll go back over. Hey!
He wipes the alcohol from his mouth. Boy.
You stevedores, do you often pull these bodies from the river when they's in the river for a while?
They kind of stop and pause, looking at one another. So what are you insinuating?
Well, what I'm asking is, like, you see how he's all puffed up, like, well, I don't know what like, but he's all puffed up.
Because he's a fatty, one of them says.
Man we was fighting the other night wasn't fat.
Great. Looks like a picture to me.
I ain't gonna argue that. But what I was saying is, that man, he's got to look like he's been in the water for quite some time.
We'll let Brigandine sort that out, one of the men says, I should say.
Okay. I guess we will.
Bravery is unparalleled.
Man tried to steal with my boat. He deserved what he got.
Sleeping man in the back of your boat, yeah. I would do the same.
Of course you would.
Right.
Agent Marius and boss, I think we should just go and, with these gentlemen and, let the Brigandine sort it out.
Indeed. The Brigandine, I'm sure they're a clever lot and they can figure out exactly what happened to this man.
Yeah, that's what I said.
I mean,
one of them says in the crowd.
They could piece all of this together, and
Yeah.
of course, if there's some kind of reward for going after Pikmin, then, well, these men deserve it.
And they must surely have investigators that would put the pieces between someone who's bled out at the shoulders and someone who's brained in the back of the head and bloated like they was in the river.
Oh, well, completely. I mean,
They'll figure it out.
they're medically trained. Of course they know these things.
Do either of you have Intimidate?
No.
Is this a trained skill?
Not Intimidate. I have Interrogate.
I think Intimidate would probably be appropriate. And I'm actually going to allow...
I also have Screen.
Who has between the two of you, who has the highest Intimidate?
I've got a 51.
That would be you.
Let's go ahead and make an Intimidate check. It's going to be routine, but add an assist die. I think this makes sense in this case.
Okay. So could I get your 10s die?
Have my ugly.
I don't know if I want to touch it because I'm cursed.
You're fine.
Okay.
Deacons love me enough.
Surf turf.
I'll take the 44 crit success thanks to the assist.
Well, what do you mean? Of course they can. They're Brigandine. They know what they're doing.
Yeah, and I don't. So we'll just, leave it to these expertise.
And these honest men, they deserve everything, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. You got me. Maybe he wasn't a pig. The man stops in the midst.
Oh?
Well, Gralsteaders wash up in the river all the time.
Can I walk over to the corpse and, touch the tattoo, and does it, rub off?
Oh, yes, it does.
Yeah.
And you can see that there's kind of, places where they had shaved him.
Yeah.
This person shaved the hair off. Gralsteaders wash up in the river all the time. I mean, it was an innocent thing.
Braining a corpse is...
Oh, I didn't do that, he says. I was just pull one over, because that's part of the story. Come on.
Your artistry is unmatched, though.
Well, the man is dead. I mean, no one come to claim him. We just assume that if a Gralstead is dead for 2 days, nobody comes to claim him. We Well, we just collect a bit of a bounty, I suppose.
How about this? How about we take this body to one of the custodians' places where they do things to bodies. I don't know what they do. But
Collectors.
yeah, to a custodian's collector, and you help us do the right thing with it. We'll leave that between you and them.
Well, the man kind of steps a little closer. I did spend a little money to spin up this story. Maybe you can, He kind of shrugs his shoulders. A true cad, this one. Give me a couple brass at least, right?
I think the brigandine could possibly pay this man out. Yes?
We're not going to pay for a girl stay up.
I mean...
Now, if he was a Picty, we could all, split in the riches. I'm sure he's got at least 25 crowns on his head, Druce, right? You sure we can't reason here? I mean, come on. He kind of shrugs his shoulders and holds his hands up.
I don't think there's any reasoning. You'll get
reasonable.
You're getting the
walk
the
in
most
nearby
reasonable.
vendor and buy some popcorn to enjoy the show.
Listen here, mate. You know what you just did? You just desecrated a corpse. And now you're asking me for money.
Well, he's already dead. It's not desecration of him, they're already dead. He's a Grolstetter. They don't even worship the same gods as we do.
I mean, that...
All right. How about this? You go your way. We'll take care of the body for you. You don't get pinched by the brigandine for turning in a false bounty, and we call it a win for everyone.
All right, done. He takes your hand and shakes it vigorously. Come on, boys. We're done. All done. I've got drinks. I got drinks down the road. He and the mob will leave. And
Wait. He says, he turns to Banneker, and he's like, I know that he's going to take it anyway, but I just can't let this go. And
Come on, Lieutenant.
he turns around and he looks really pissed off at the guy, the gentleman that were there, and he reaches into his pocket quickly and he pulls out.
As going to collect his staggering back as you do this, as he thrusts his hand in his pocket.
He pulls out 2 brass pennies and he places them over the eyes of the corpse as he just stares down the man and then backs off.
Lisa nods and writes a note in her book.
All right, well, you fellers have a good night.
So blooded body of a Grolstetter who was painted like a Pictish man is now lying in the middle of the street. The people in the cloakroom are kind of looking at this with great disdain, uncertain what to do.
Well,
You now task yourself with the disposal of a corpse.
let's
Is there a
reckon I'll go find a man about a body.
Well,
Yeah.
we can find a body collector. That won't be a problem. But I'm not quite understanding what you're trying to get at here. But you trying to make trouble?
It may.
Well, yeah. Don't waste a good name you already made by riling up the locals.
Riley.
It ain't about fame.
Right.
It ain't even about fortune. It's about doing what's right.
I think we take this man and, well, we can probably ask, what's Nick's character again? Warren?
All right.
We can probably ask Warren if there's a place amongst the Grolstetters that take care of them bodies.
Well, I can find a body collector. Don't worry about that.
Well, I'm just making sure he gets back to his people.
They
That's what
may.
the body collectors do.
They may. Here's what we do. I need one of you two to volunteer to get something to cover this man up, so that the decent folk of these parts ain't walking around and looking at a man without decency. He may be dead, but he still deserves that. We'll need the other of you two to go and find a body taker. I'll stay here and make sure nothing bad happens.
Alright. I'll go find the body taker.
You can oversee as you oversee.
It won't take too long to see this.
Right.
An hour will pass. The body is gone. The situation is over.
I think maybe we do need to think about, the commons and what they think about us. We ain't gonna be able to do our job without it. It's just a thought, boss.
Well, you know what?
Just a thought.
You know what? Your father's right. But what should I have done?
We follow him down to Brigandine, and just let them try to explain that to Brigandine. I'm sorry to say, you've saved the man's life, but he thinks you took his manhood. You emasculated him in front of his friends. Let's just be honest with it. I mean, if
You
we're
gelded him in front of the others.
So you're saying that he's not going to believe that I saved him from the stockades?
no man like that.
Old man probably thought that he had done tricked everyone. I mean, at first glance, he done tricked us.
He tricked all that vicious
Yeah.
mob.
He had me fooled. Yes.
I mean,
So that's what I'm saying. You don't do that. What you do is you take it, let
Right.
the authorities, and boss, I mean, we're all new here. It's just, I know how to play this political game maybe a slight bit better than.
and I'm sure by the time they got finished counting out them coins, that anyone who had to take care of that body would have pointed out that it was
That's
fake.
when you whisper into the Brigandine's ear. This man is painted, not tattooed. This man is not what he seems. And then let the authorities do their job. I think, and I'll to make sure that it's just the four of us. I think Amadeus is right. I mean, I know it's not something you want to hear, and I'm not trying to scold I'm not trying to overstep my.
Have I ever reacted poorly to you saying something to me?
Maybe right now, boss. Just slightly right now.
Well, this is the only time, and it's because you're thinking I'm going to react poorly before I do.
Well, presidents. Have you ever heard this before? One acts in the same way that you're according them to. That would set a precedence, and your precedence is to kind of fire up every once in a while. Kind of fiery temper.
Oh. Did we ever talk about that?
I don't believe you did. But I'm going to walk away from that.
Don't believe I know what you're saying, boss. But hey,
If you don't mind.
and leadership is your responsibility. Camaraderie and understanding
Listen here.
one's fellow
Listen
man
here.
is mine.
Listen here. I don't know what sort of leaders and authority figures you had before. But seeing as how we're not in the military, and I'm used to being in the military, I'm not always going to know how things are done in the city life. So, what I'm saying is I appreciate you telling me this. And I welcome this sort of thing.
All right.
But it's kind of odd. It's kind of odd not to just tell people to do things and they do them, or they tell you what to do and you do them. So, on that other matter, when it comes to fire, have you ever heard of a man named E08?
Said some local magistrate or something that I should know of, a minister.
He served under the king for many years. He served
We're so dope.
during the strife. He was on the king's side.
Oh yeah, strife, bad business. I know you. Your locals here kind of revolted against us and the crown.
Well, see, he was my grandfather.
Oh well, Congratulations. I'm glad you're a loyalist. I'm glad your family is.
You know, I died.
I wish we hadn't gone this far. I congratulated you as a loyalist. I think that would be enough and kind.
It's important.
Okay, let's go there then.
He died because he set fire to a building. And he was in it. He was very, very prone to setting fire to anything.
So no fire around you. Is that some... I don't
Listen here, I'm saying that. I do not want to be in a fire. And it's best if I probably don't carry the torch, if you catch what I'm saying.
I don't, but I will make sure that doesn't happen, boss.
So you're just going to carry it then? Am I going to be able to trust you to not set fire to a ship when we're on it?
You can see from where the two of you are at, there's a very tense conversation happening in the street between the two of them.
I kind of fly by the seat of my pants, you know? I mean, that's what's gotten me through my life so far. And as you asked, my father was in Parliament. So...
My dad owns a dealership.
My dad owns a dealership. Yeah, exactly. That's what it feels like.
By chance, is
Moon
there
Knight.
anyone walking near that could be possibly listening?
No, it's
Okay.
it's dead. The night is when the mob dispersed. It's
So,
dead at night.
I think I've beaten this dead horse too much, so...
Well, we don't know each other well, and I don't try to usurp your authority.
So let's be more careful.
About fire?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I promise I will attempt not to set on fire the next thing we jump on.
It's appreciated.
Well, you know.
They'll retire back to the cloakroom with the two of you, and an hour and a half has passed, and you finally get your food to eat. Mm-hmm. The place is still pretty busy, but everyone's kind of giving all of you kind of wide berth at this point. It's like if you can imagine like a tavern where everyone's kind of basically backed away and left this kind of like gaping hole around the table where you're at. Well, that's what's happening right now, is nobody's coming anywhere near you. Whoa. And it's very, very clear that people are avoiding you at this point.
On that note, Taryn will stand up. He says, "Barkeep!" As he starts looking for the barkeep.
Oh, yeah, he's over behind the bar.
Around for everyone.
Huh? All right. One of them says, "Yeah! Oh!"
So, yeah.
He's all right, I guess.
Now, don't go making it rain like my lords do. That gets pretty pricey.
I said one.
All right. Just make sure the barkeep knows that.
I did not use
You're
that.
going to make it rain like my lords do, he calls out.
I can't afford that.
One round! The other people, It kind of like suddenly like the air is pulled drawn from the room. I'm like, rain like my lords do, everybody drinks all night. It is listed in the book.
I'm just saying, everyone and their literal brother would show up to take advantage of you.
Yeah.
How much does that cost?
I believe making it rain like the lords do is, gosh, what is that? It's
more money than all we got together. It's like 23 gold crowns.
It's 15 gold crowns.
15.
Making it rain like the lords do.
I can't afford that. You can't buy something you don't have the money for.
Well, the barkeeper don't know you don't got the money for it until he tells you the bill. That's why I said make sure.
That's why I did.
All right.
Maybe best not to make promises one can't keep.
Well,
I promise
ladies
stay
got
round.
right.
I understand.
Let's see how many
It's
people
not
are in
stating
here
an error on
during
your
tonight for one round.
Right.
7, that's 12, 18 at 9, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31 people. So 31 multiplied by 2 brass pennies. So 62 brass pennies.
62 divided by 12.
It's 5 shilling and 52 minus 50. It's 5 shilling and 10 brass pennies.
Thank you.
Well,
Nonetheless, the people at least won't feel uncomfortable or walk by you and drown silence. Someone will say, "Hey, thanks for the drink, bub.
You're welcome.
You're an honest knave." Another one will say,
so
"Thanks, soldier.
Tip my hat.
Thanks for your service." Another says, "Mornlim," as he's missing a hand himself.
And, Terwin gets quieter and quieter as the evening goes along, but when someone says Mornlim to him, he holds up and says Mornlim as you notice that Terwin has a bronze eye patch over his eye.
The Mornlim, as you all know, is a 7-day celebration given to veterans and it is a holy week where all veterans can eat and sleep in bed wherever they wish. The citizens will pay for it for their service. In a sudden war, there are no heroes. There are only survivors. And the whole story in the Decalogue and Tenets, or the Holy Librum, your holy book about it. It's faithful, kind of.
Yeah.
Up here, So the night will draw on, and the smell in the city just is persistent, and people continue to complain about it. And it's so bad it's kind of penetrating the walls, and it's not just the smell of the smell. It isn't the smell of gas by any means.
Right.
Yes,
If Mama Days is around, I'll ask him about it.
Well, he says, I just don't settle right. I don't know. I couldn't tell you what it is. I thought it was maybe the night soil collected. Them gong farmers will walk about the city. Not like they didn't do their business last night. They always do it at night. Collecting the shit and taking it to the outskirts of the city, but maybe they're just working overtime today. I don't know.
So this is something new? This ain't normal?
Well,
I'm new to the city, and I know it smells
not this strong. I mean, whew, I bet by the riverside it just plumb stinks.
Like it's coming from the river?
Well, riverside's where they take care of all that dung.
Well, they just jumping in the stream, hope it goes down?
They use that dung.
Oh.
They sell that dung to the salt petermen. You know, them fellows from down in those fellows from down in the mall.
Okay, if you say so.
They used to make gunpowder.
Oh. Well,
Pirate.
there's some sort of factory or something like that? Is it in production or something?
What? The shit?
Well, I mean, there's plenty of factories for shit around here. But not that gunpowder.
Oh, the gunnery foundry over there on Riverside. That's where they all that happens.
It's the Jenny operation.
That's right. Stay plumb away.
So this isn't standard.
The smell in the city can get bad, I suppose.
Not for this long.
When there's feasts, I guess.
Mm.
But not like this. This don't smell like shit to me, he admits.
What's it smell like then?
I don't know. But it ain't shit. I can't. Sulfur and something else. It smells something infernal, he says. As he takes a long pull from his pewter jack that he's drinking from.
Smells fine to me. I don't know what everyone's complaining about.
I mean, does it smell like gunpowder?
No.
Okay. Doesn't smell like gunpowder then.
It is a smell you can't readily identify.
Well, I don't know then.
It's particularly strong.
So,
I mean,
Moving throughout the city, does it seem stronger in other places?
Well, the Messiah Square is near the western gate where you came through.
Mm-hmm.
You've not been any deeper in the city. This is like really the first stop into the city. It's along is where most travelers come when they come to Durindal. But the vast majority of Durindal, like 3/4 of Durindal, is all industrial areas. I mean, there are parts of Durindal that are constantly smoldering with smoke.
It's Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Motor City, baby!
It's Pittsburgh in the 50s.
That's right. Durindal, year 2020. It's
Not now. I mean,
no.
Pittsburgh's like a technology hub now.
That's right.
So,
But it parts of the city smolder day and night.
Well, unless I guess you figure you want to run around using your nose to hunt it down. It doesn't seem like anyone in their minds has any idea where this smell's coming from.
Well,
what's our next job, boss?
you beat me to it. So, is Chandler?
Amadeus?
Around?
He's not now.
So, we done this job last night. And we should probably look into what we's doing next. Now, you didn't happen to bring an assignment, did you?
Not really.
Okay.
Honestly, it's just we want to make sure that the Baroness is kept pleased with our work.
Well, then we need to know what she wants done. So,
Right.
we should... you see Amadeus around anyway?
Well, we can just say save children check, I mean, as far as I can see, but...
I'll stand up and...
Amadeus is gone. He left earlier.
I think he left after we caused the ruckus.
Did you meet him here?
In the square.
So there's a good chance tomorrow during the day that he would be there again.
No, he's staying here.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. I think, if I'm going to be honest with... this doesn't... Agent Marius, this doesn't reflect on you. It reflects on us. We need to find a washerwoman. You look like you killed 20 baby puppies and smeared it all over yourself.
You do make it quite hard to approach you at this point, yes.
And
Part of the stench may not necessarily
same
be
as
from
you.
the outside.
I mean, I was only very lightly injured, but
yeah, but I don't
I
believe
live
all that
lightly.
blood is yours.
that is true.
We need to find as I just stated,
I'm sure they
you
have
might
baths here.
You might want to slip a few extra brass to the innkeep and get some washing done. And maybe, and I'll put my finger through one of the holes. You might want to have her stitch a few of them up.
Are you
Because-
staying in a common room or your own rooms?
I
I reckon common.
don't even know where I bedded down. I was so tired. GM.
Yeah. Do they have baths?
Yeah, what
Common
do you give
room.
them? Common room?
Yeah, you can get you could easily get a bath, and you can get a hot meal, a bath, and a room here, fit for a burger for 12 brass pennies a night. It's a common room. It's a meal, and you can get washed. But yes, 12 brass pennies a night.
Okay.
And I paid a shilling because of my status.
Yeah, you paid a shilling. Sorry, not a shilling. You paid a shilling and 12 brass.
Okay.
Yeah,
How many people would be in that common room?
a handful at best.
So could we possibly get a common room to our group? Is what I was wondering.
Got it.
Oh, I have my own room.
There are no separate common rooms. There's a common room.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
think of
they're
it like
private
a,
rooms.
it's basically like a hostel in
Okay.
a sense, or you can stay in private rooms upstairs.
Which is what I have.
Got
What's the
change
cost
for
on
another
burger?
crown.
Oh yes, a night in a private room is 5 shillings a night.
Yeah, I get brass.
Then the common
pennies
room's
to
a
cover
shilling.
that.
And then to stable Matthew.
What do you need?
Yes, to stable your horse nights 8 brass pennies.
8?
Yeah.
Okay. So it'd be
I'll-
20 brass
I'll pass
pennies
you a
basically
shilling.
for me. Now, does Frail factor into
That's what you meant, right?
the cost for the food? wouldn't it?
No.
Yeah, we're just
You said 1.
2 points.
Okay, so
No,
do
no, I
18
was saying
then.
one moment. Alright, so I've got 4 gold crowns and 1 shilling. I don't really look like the type to be carried around in crowns. So I was asking you because I know you. Well, I hear you coming. What we hold in coins, and so that's why I was asking if you had change.
Right. You hear him jink when he walks, and it ain't because of spurs.
Well, I have change, but you could go to the keep, and he'll charge you a small amount, but he'll change your money for you.
That's true.
I mean, how come?
That's true. That's true.
I mean, I'm sorry I'm over here clinking, but
I'll go and I'll buy all the services and I'll lay down a gold crown.
Okay. So to change to money change, it's going to cost you to turn in 1 crown. You will get quick math here. Jesus Christ. I'm having trouble here.
Yeah, because normally
You'll get 228 silver shilling back.
No.
Sorry,
Brass
brass pennies.
That's a great exchange rate. I'm in.
Yeah, so
Can I
one gold
start
crown is
exchanging
228 brass pennies. It's 5%.
Yeah.
The money change.
All right. Well,
It's very common in the city.
here's 12 more then, as I pay for the services.
Hold on.
And I bought a private room, right? Because I'm spoiled.
If you wish, it costs you 5 shilling though.
Oh, is it 5 shillings? So
Yeah.
I had to pay a shilling just to stay because I'm a aristocrat.
If you choose to do so, you can live as a lower status if you like.
Oh, okay. Well, then I'll pay my shilling and move on.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I figure we do need to talk to Amadeus again. But he kind of tends to either pop up or I don't know quite where to look for him.
I think he was
Maybe a bell
trying to.
tower?
I think he was probably trying to give us time to clean up, and I'll look over at Alistair too.
They're not pages, they're messenger boys.
I would think there would be those too, but I believe you and Alistair might need another run-in with the barber surgeon before we do too much of anything.
Right. That's true.
So maybe a night's rest, and then in the morning go see the surgeon again. I would recommend that, boss, but, I'm just your humble servant.
I should have done it today, but I forgot.
The night will pass.
Well, if only your wounds would heal while you slept.
What is this, D&D? The night will pass, and the following day will come, and you'll see to your cleaning. You can visit a barber surgeon by midday. Barber surgeon is going to cost you.
Probably give Matthew a good brushing.
A
Barber
barber
on that leg.
That's
Make
right.
sure it's healing.
Sorry, I'm looking for my barber surgeon visit, which I should probably have this up at all times because this happens a lot.
Combat is bad.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's not bad. It's just it can go bad real fast.
That's right. So a visit, I believe we said 8 shilling before.
Actually, I think it is 3.
3 shilling, you're right.
But
But that was
More
for
because he's getting
surgery.
an injury
That's
treatment.
right.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
was.
it's 3 shilling to be treated by barber surgery. Go ahead and roll percentiles. A 56% chance success.
67. Can I use a fortune point to
Sure,
roll
why
that?
not?
Can you?
May I?
Yes.
Yes.
Why not?
You may.
Will the barber surgeon succeed in mending your wounds?
98 won't do it either.
Whew, man, you're one off
No,
the crit fail.
not today. It looks like he'll dress the wound and cut away the bad boils, and he will lance a few boils that have gathered around it. Fortunately, it's not infected, but no healing feeling today. It is mid-morning at this point, and
Smell's still there?
Agent Elisa, sorry.
Yes, not Z.
Yes, Elisa. The smell is pretty bad. You're looking back over through your orders when you gather with the others.
Yes.
Good morning, Agent Maris.
Morning, Lieutenant.
Morning.
Your visit doesn't
Morning.
seem to go well.
Huh?
You don't look that much patched.
Thanks.
Sorry.
Well, at least it's clean. Clothes got cleaned.
No, you're cleaner, definitely.
Clothes are still a little wet, a little rigid from being outside trying to dry in the cold, but your clothes are at least clean, free of stained, but at least free of blood.
Now,
You do look less murdery.
Murdery.
one thing I did want to mention.
Just got it. You look like you wouldn't kill somebody in a back alley for no reason all of a sudden.
Yeah. Suits you.
I would always have a reason.
Yeah.
Harper interjects.
So, as I was saying, there was a vial that we had found amongst the madam's belongings
Mm-hmm.
that we believe, or so story had been told, that one of the Gralsteaders had prescribed her this tincture, of some sort.
The girl said is prescribing a medicine.
Well, there was a medicine woman. I can't quite remember the name off the top of my head, but Warren would know.
Warren knew it, yeah.
Warren knew her.
Warren and Alistair are not here this morning.
But
I think they're both still under the weather.
I would say that might be a lead. I mean,
What?
have they strung up that woman yet?
Was she a Gralsteader?
And the woman?
Yeah.
No, she's a sister.
Wait, but she would.
Well, I don't mean she can't be a... Well, wait. I'll look around the room. Can they be sisters?
I don't.
I would believe that anyone that can take the faith would be able to be eligible.
That's what I
But
thought.
would
So
they-
it could have been.
Could have been, but I think she was going to places out of the way to get things she might not have been able to get her hands on through more physicians. This is more, from my understanding, what we sussed out, Warren and I, was that that she was going to this medicine woman to get these alternative cures.
Maybe we should go and talk to the sister then.
Worm lung.
The sister or the medicine woman?
Worm.
Well, do we know the medicine woman?
I don't know the medicine woman.
Yeah, Warren's a bit under the weather.
Well, all right. Well, let's go talk to this woman.
Yeah.
See what caused her to lose her damn mind.
What was you saying, Agent?
I was just going to say, do you even know what's in the vial? Alright.
Well, it's not usually good to take things that you don't know what it is.
You don't necessarily have to take something to know what it is.
Well, that's why we were going to take it to the medicine woman and have her suss out what it was.
Oh.
If she supposedly subscribed it, then I imagine she would know what she prescribed.
I suppose.
Would we trust the person who was dealing
Yeah,
I would trust
narcotics
Warren
to
to make that call. So yeah, I think we go talk to this woman right quick. And then when
the
Warren comes
drugged out
back
one
around.
that could possibly be taking vials from people that we don't know that... Well, alright, let's go.
Why wouldn't we talk to the physician? See if he knew what the concoction was.
Ah,
That would be more likely my choice.
there's an idea.
Just thought. Again, I don't like to interject into
I mean, is this barber surgeon at
leadership,
all
but, you know,
reputable?
the man did stitch your ear up, and I wouldn't say it looks good.
Would
but
you take credit for something good?
all right, I took credit.
Elisa, you suddenly realize when you check your calendar, today is the day.
Yes, you have a relationship with this barber surgeon. Maybe it's time for you to go talk to him about what might be in this vial. Yeah.
All right.
I
Yeah.
mean, I can't hurt to have multiple eyes on it.
This is the first I've heard of this vial.
Well, I remembered mentioning it to you, but, there was a bit of a scuffle, and then a chase, and then a crash,
Yeah. All right.
and then a fire.
Okay, enough. Let's go.
So, yeah.
So to the watchtower you go, and surprisingly, perhaps, or actually unsurprisingly, a woman has already been strung up in the gallows. She's dead.
Yeah.
Nah.
Justice has already been dispensed by Brigandine already.
That was
You can see that nearby some local laborer has a bucket full of soap and is literally scrubbing the paint off the wall that said "child killer" across the street from the watchtower. You can see where the rotted fruit and eggs were thrown at the watchtower by the mob the night before, the day before. It's been cleaned up.
So is that her?
Would think.
I reckon. I don't know.
I never saw her.
We never laid eyes on her. She was gone when the kids were taken.
Yeah.
Apparently sold them for some sort of smack.
There's a grim-looking bastard at the foot of the gallows who is literally situated over a stone wheel where he's sharpening this large, vicious-looking axe. A very
This-
willowy-looking man with a paunchy belly.
This seems a bit quick for an execution, but seeing as how there was that, as he points to the paint, and there was that, as he points to people picking up the the refuse. I can see why they wanted to rush things.
Right in the street, right next to Penumbra, is probably not the best. Don't you think?
I mean, she's at least guilty of negligence.
Right.
Negligence equals death.
Well,
Maybe we should just do the Bob episode.
Yes,
Will
yes,
it lead to the
let's...
potential kidnapping and or deaths of, 15 or so?
Come on. Let's go.
I ain't saying she didn't deserve it.
You will head to Dr. Drake's. His
Dr. Drake Navarro.
Dr. Drake. Is it Drake? He's a Snoop Dogg out front. It's tied to the brass pole, the beagle.
Does he have a side business where he grows beets?
Sometimes he does. There is a Dr. Drake's. The place where he keeps up is a small 2-story building. He has a number of apprentices, barber surgeons primarily. They'll look at you quizzically when you inquire and say, "We can't tell you anything about medicine. We're not apothecaries."
All right.
Where's the apothecary you get your supplies from?
Graal's Den, the man says.
Would it happen to be a... you got a name for that person?
I don't deal in that, he says.
Well, so who do you buy it from? Some just person in Graal's Den?
We get it from Graal's Den, that's all I know, he says, admittingly.
All right.
Who knows?
Right. Who would know?
Probably the doctor, he says.
Where's the doctor at?
Busy, the other man says.
Well, I reckon that's probably true.
Can I put you on the list?
That would be amazing if you could, yes.
Okay, come back in 3 days, he says flatly.
You sure you couldn't... There wasn't possibly just a small bit of time that we could talk to him?
Doctor's busy. Gotta make an appointment.
Oh,
You
I
can see in 3
understand,
days.
but it would seem that just possibly there might be an opening at some point, you don't think?
I mean, you're welcome to loiter in the lobby if you wish to wait, but I can't make any promises. If a patient doesn't show up, maybe they can squeeze you in. But there's no guarantees, the barber surgeon says. You can see he's wearing a leather smock that appears to be stained. He's kind of rubbing his hands together. Another man behind him is counting coins in a purse and making notches in a wooden tablet. They're taking accounts right now. Must be shift change.
So I got just one question for you. And I'm
A nursemaid peeks up.
I'm gonna use stand and deliver here. Use a little intimidation through charm, though. You know, we're just all trying to get something done here. We're all trying to work. We're all trying to just get the things done. You know, we're just two frame agents trying to track one thing down. You might have heard about those kids. Well, that's what this is about.
Make a challenging test.
Could I possibly assist?
Do you have a skill rank in charge?
Yes.
Is he outside of my social class? Because I know
Yes, they are. They are. In
They're
fact,
all
it's under
fucking
your
peasants,
social
all
class.
right?
All right, so that is a 77 with silver tongue. And 42. Thank you for the assist.
That's my stuff.
Well,
The
the nursemaid says, let me see what I can do. She will...
Remember, it's for the kids.
She nods, and of course. She will disappear, and then eventually she will reappear just a few moments later with this very slight-looking fellow who has these kind of tiny octagonal spectacles affixed to his nose. But the man's skin is black as pitch. I mean, you've never seen a man with such dark skin before in your entire life. He has very strange eyes, almost the color of amber or honey. His hair is a bit kinky. He's wearing a leather smock, and he has his sleeves rolled up.
Hi. Thank you. As I point to my ear.
He nods. How does the treatment going?
It's going pretty well, actually.
Good, he says. Give me just a moment, yeah?
It's smart.
He speaks with a high lilt in his voice as he goes over and washes his hands in a nearby kind of, what do they call it, where you pump the Water
Well.
well pump. He pumps the water out the front.
Well pump.
On the very street corner outside, as people are passing by, carriages, carts, other people on horseback, and people on foot, as Messiah Square is beginning to become very busy and bustling. He washes his hands in the cold, cool water. Doesn't seem to brace against it at all, although you can feel how cold it is today outside. He takes one of the rags off a nearby sawhorse and kind of dries his hands off. Well, you want to speak, as I understand it?
Show him that vial.
Right. Well, we're trying to suss out what's inside this vial. We heard that you know the name of an apothecary that might be able to help us out.
Yes, he says. Endora is her name.
Endora.
Just Gralstetter.
Write that down.
And so Endora. And do you know where?
You know, that does sound familiar.
And that's what. And that's in the
Grol's-
slums. Or
Grol's Den?
Grol's Den, yes.
the slums.
Now, this is a real long shot here, but there doesn't have to be more than one apothecary in this whole city, is there?
None that I deal with, he says.
Very well. Just
All of
throw
our
that
stuff's
out.
been on the up and up. Been good. Any issues?
Forgive me, who are you again? He says.
My name is Harper Claviger. I'm your frame agent.
I don't see what business is of yours. You can deal with her. You can speak with her about that.
I'm just wondering about the lady's reputation.
Well, I don't appreciate your inquiry, sir. I have business to attend to. You've taken up enough of my time already. He immediately seems offended by the inquiry immediately.
All right.
I apologize. He's simply trying to make sure that we're having good contact, but I do have one more question. I understand your time's incredibly important. But do you happen to know what ailment there might have been at the mother that was at the orphanage?
You'll need to make a charm test. This will be hard.
That's fine.
Seems impatient, wishing to return back to his duties.
Remember, it's for the children.
You said a hard term?
Yes.
It's probably going to be.
It's for the children. It's always for the children. And I think a 33 is going to be a crit for me.
Crit.
Crit success?
Yes.
Okay. Look. You're not from around these parts, so I'm going to tell you quick. You don't wear a badge of brigandine. I don't see what business is of yours.
Understand.
But if you must know, the woman was sick with Weevil's lung. She had been taking probably Black Lotus, I would guess. But Black Lotus, he indicates, is not dealt in that form. It is eaten with food. It is not liquefied. Now, if you'll excuse me.
Thank you so much for your time.
It's much appreciated.
It was for the children.
Think of the children.
Well, that's a right pick. Good piece of information. It matches up with the story that huckster was trying to tell us.
Well, let's go see this. What was the witch's name?
Endora.
Which?
It is now midday.
Yeah, we'll go see Endora and we'll just ask her
You
what
are
it is.
tardy at this point.
Yes. You know, I do believe that we might need to stop back by the cloakroom before we do that.
Why?
Well, there might be someone that we need to meet with.
We or you?
I do believe at least the lieutenant would be useful in this meeting.
Well,
You need help?
Not necessarily help, but it would be nice if all of us attended.
Alright.
Someone important.
Let's do it.
if you say so.
Hey, if it's somebody in the rank, you pull.
I'm sometimes those of us in our area station, well, maybe it's above our pay grade.
There we go.
No, it's fine.
I'm just making sure.
Let us all go back to the cloakroom now. Thankfully, it's only across the square, and hopefully he'll understand what we were trying to do before.
Even though you said no, not necessarily upon thinking that he's helping, Taryn is gonna take the lead and start pushing crowd people to the side and say, "Make way, make way!"
What the fuck are you doing? Get off me! One of them says. You can just bully your way through here. Who do you think you are?
I think I need to go over there. That's what I think.
But walk around, the man says.
It's fine.
Manners!
I
Bless it!
apologize,
You
sir.
people have any manners? The man says.
Not used to this town. I'm so sorry.
You people, I think he means Ravanians.
Is he Ravanian or Aridane?
You want to go ask him?
No, I mean...
I'm always...
It's hard to say.
Just remember how Banneker is.
It's hard to say in the girdle what
Okay.
if you can't really tell ethnicity
Okay.
in that sense. I mean, particularly at this point, you can tell by the way people talk sometimes. But even then, that you're potentially casting somebody as if they're not.
Yeah. I mean, I get what he's meaning, you know.
But let's just continue.
I get it.
Moving with the flow of traffic.
He acquiesces.
You'll come back to the cloakroom, which is mostly quiet. For late midday, most people have already broken their fast. Or sorry, it's not middle of the day. It's toward. I think it was toward noon. Most people have already broken their fast, and only a few people would have enough coin or cash to come to the cloakroom and actually be able to afford to have a meal before supper. Within, however, following Agent Elisa, she approaches a table where you can see a haunting-looking fellow. The man is terribly gaunt. He has this long, kind of unkempt hair that's kind of drawn back into a ponytail, but several kind of stray hairs are kind of sticking out, gray and wiry here and there, mostly dark. He has a salt and pepper long beard, a very long beard, and a high Nehru collar with a robe over it. He would be easily mistaken for some sort of priest, you would suspect upon first glance, until immediately you recognize the man is wearing kind of along the collar, like there's this... best way to describe it is there's this embroidered leaves around the top of the collar. And the first word that comes to your mind is Eloranite.
Before I step inside of the cloakroom, she's going to dust herself off, kind of try to make herself look more presentable, possibly pull my neck ruff out.
Certainly.
Put it around my neck. Yep. Yeah.
Affix the hat to be just ever so foppish.
The like, fancy hat is at the correct angle. At
no point. Lower than the earlobe. No higher than the side of the part.
And it's blue as is in fashion for this particular season.
Oh, of course.
Yes,
so this man, like, you almost mouth the word soundlessly. Banneker. As you all approach, the man has got a meal set in front of him that he's kind of kept his fork and knife and spoon in perfect positions. He's been eating kind of smaller portions of the food equally as he kind of has been moving around almost counterclockwise. And he keeps 2 cups, one for water, one for wine, and it seems he has a perfect place setting.
Master Hexenstern, I take it. I apologize so much. So much for being a bit late.
His eyes kind of widen as if he's perhaps drawn in by his meal. No worries. Of course, excuse me. He pulls the kerchief out of from beneath of his collar, and he kind of taps each side of his mouth. Forgive me. You must be Agent Lysa.
My forgiveness. We were trying to check on things around the town after the horrible happenings at the Penumbra. We wanted to make sure that everything seemed more calm at this point and help out the Brigandine with their current issues they're running into.
Of course.
I apologize, but I hope you weren't kept waiting too long.
Oh, I had my meal here, and I just assumed that you would show up and the time was right. I assumed you had other things going on.
Oh, yes. But of course, not as important as this. But I did want to make sure.
He smiles. I am afraid I do not know all of your names, he says.
Do introduce yourself, sir.
I'll look at the lieutenant to not go out of station.
Terran looks at his hand as if he's about to shake, and then he looks up quizzically at this man, and he doesn't know if he should reach his hand out or not.
He will pull back his sleeve and extend his to meet yours.
And then he takes his hand and he says, Terran Forrester.
His skin on his hands are papery thin, but they feel almost like the cover of a book.
I will. What is the custom for servants of the learner? What is their title?
You're not really sure. The master would perhaps be appropriate.
And what was his last name again?
Hexenstern.
Master Hexenstone. I am Banica's Steeples II, and I will extend and. Do I kiss the ring or
no? He wears no rings. This man.
Okay, then I will shake his hand.
This man is otherwise dressed very plainly. Dark clothing.
I know learners are completely different than any other sect in the religion, so.
Harper Clavenger, nice to meet you.
Or Allura Knight.
Tip the hat.
Please, call me Rasputin. Sit. Join me.
Thank you so much.
He will raise 2 fingers in the air and he will summon the barkeep. Would you like to, perhaps something to warm your bellies? It's cold out today.
I would never turn down a meal.
Yeah. Good.
Your
Good.
hospitality is welcome.
He smiles.
Thanks.
You can see long crease. You can see there are kind of long crow's feet around his eyes. I mean, the man looks like he's probably in his early 40s, but he's probably in his early 40s. He looks much older. Well, he says, I was just in the middle of this eel soup, he says.
That sounds amazing.
I haven't had eel in ages.
I'll just take something nice and plain. Sorry, I got
Whatever you prefer, he says.
sour
They have a
stomach.
very a good menu here at the cloakroom.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I do love me some eel, but eel don't love me.
You can see that there's a stack of books nearby him, but they're kind of lashed together with a belt. Much like a student of a chapter house, what we call a university, but a chapter house would have, kind of situated near the edge of the table.
Your town is so charming now that I've been here for a couple of days.
Durindal is charming is one word to call it, I suppose, yes? Duh.
Interesting might be the better word.
Well, it is Durindal. We tend to attract a lot of people, he says, as he's kind of flipping through papers while he's
Well,
talking
obviously.
to you.
I mean, the Baroness's leadership alone would bring all these people here.
Yes, indeed. She is our sun and moon and the stars. He
I've
smiles.
heard.
His eyes kind of almost seem to light up as you mention her name.
Indeed. I see the love that goes through the streets for her.
So, I suppose I should introduce myself in a more formal way. I am Rasputin Hexenstern, and I have the honor of being a master astrologer for the Baroness.
Oh, your reputation precedes you.
Clearly, as you can tell, I am not from here. I am from a place called Cahabro.
Oh.
But I spent a great deal of my years attending Chapter House in Caeltyrion. In fact, my time at the Chapter House, I spent several years in study alongside the director.
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
Alexei, he says.
Do I know that?
Yeah, he's the right hand man to Liam Dufresne, the founder of the Dufresne
Okay.
Agency. Yeah.
Ah, yes. Yeah.
Well, the honor is all mine, and I'm sure these others.
Very nice to meet you.
It's all ours. Sorry we didn't recognize you.
Oh, no, do not worry. You are new to Durindal. I am in Laurinite, as I'm sure you are already aware. I spent time in seminary after my studies at the Chapter House. And now I have the honor of serving at the Baroness Dupre's side, he says.
A great honor, that.
I hear we have you to thank for keeping her alive.
Ooh, well, I didn't think that story would come up, but suppose in a matter of speaking, myself and several others were the ones who foiled a terrible, terrible situation. But,
Well, you got my thanks.
Praises due. But, so the question now is, of course, we find ourselves here to assist the Baroness and to make sure that everything seems to be on the up and up after, of course, the anniversary of the Penumbra incident. But, what could we do for you to help out this place?
well, he smiles. It is fortunate that you raised this question. My day, he says, I have been spending time here in the Rendell when I am not serving the Baroness. I spend time teaching. The Baroness and her court require daily attendance, so I am given the dispensation as one of her chief advisors to see to my own studies. I suppose you could say that particularly, not only with the fortuitousness of last night and auspiciousness of Penumbra, that my studies have been ramped up, to speak in layman's terms.
Yes.
I have spent the last month leading up to Penumbra to make arrangements for my studies on the evening. I am certain I do not have to tell you how auspicious that night was last evening.
Yes.
Not only for what had happened here in Durendal, but I am certain if you are from the West, you knew what happened in Bellegame as well.
Yeah, there was quite a few auspicious things happening that night. The whole night was full of auspicion.
Yes.
Right. It was very, very auspicious.
Yeah, a lot of auspicious folks running about.
Yeah.
Well, look,
Well,
as I said, my studies are varied. And in most of my studies, a variety of topics, he says. Some earthly, others more supernatural. He seems to trail off for a moment. In fact, your master Alexei, as I understand it, is a special director of the occult division of the Dufresne.
yes.
This seems to be a surprise to all of you.
I didn't even know we had such a division.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. I mean, we have to have certain interests in certain places that we research.
All right, you say so?
I'm sorry, Emily, clearance level 2.
How does one predict an assassination from the stars? May I be so blunt as to ask this?
Oh, I would not take offense to such a line of questioning. It is clearly I have taught many classes at Chapter House over this about specifically that event, the night of the last cataclysm, the night when the people of Church of the Covenant and others believed that the world was coming to its end.
Well, Bellegame definitely ended.
There are very distinct signs in the world that would lead us to believe that we are being punished, or at least that what they speak of in the Holy Librum is coming true.
Yes.
That the Leviathan Balos is leaving the poison cradle and is burrowing his way back to the surface above. And if you believe the stories and read them as you probably have, the world will be consumed in flame. According to the Librum, of course. But that is not where I am driving to.
I've got a question. I was always told you ain't supposed to say their names. I didn't even know what his name was.
Oh.
What? He says,
The Leviathan.
"Oh, forgive me. I am a scholarly man, as I am, but certainly an ardent defender of Church of the Covenant. I oftentimes forget that I am I am not speaking to my peers. I get excited, you see, he says.
Well, I'm sorry.
But as to your story,
Yeah, that would be a question of mine.
I will ask you. When I receive such questions, I often ask. I try to distill them down to the barest essentials. How does one know that it is the daytime? How do you know this?
The sun?
Yes, the sun rises. Algol rises in the east, and when it is at zenith, what happens when it's in its zenith?
Noon?
Yes, noon. And when Algo sinks below the horizon of Mahal?
Sunset.
And then?
Night.
Yes. Much in the same way that we understand the movement of the heavenly bodies, there are patterns, rhythms that are slower than the passage of day and night, but people like myself and others have sought to study and unravel the higher mysteries of. It is within my study of these mysteries that I read the events to happen, for lack of a better term.
And what have your stars told you of the future?
Well, he says, that is a fantastic question, but one I cannot answer so readily. It has become the body of my work since that night 3 years ago.
All right.
Like the body of an onion, I'm only peeling away at the surface still and discovered more layers beneath.
From one from Bellegane itself, and misunderstanding maybe the interpretations of the stars. It's still fuzzy how one can dictate and decide from the stars an assassination is going to happen and the world is going to start to end.
Well, to be fair, that's all kind of in the past. Should we be focusing more on the future? Or
The
what's
world
going on right
hasn't
now?
ended.
Yeah.
The past that you speak of is much more to me than you.
Well, I get that it affects us all different, but I mean, if you keep on reliving in the past, you'll be trapped there.
Well, to me, I just wanted my question answered.
I'm afraid I will have to direct you to your holy Libram and to reread the last passages of the book. It speaks of these things in very broad strokes. Some are parables, some are more directional. But it has been my life's work to understand the movement of the stars and the passing of the layers of the zodiac, and to understand and to foretell, in a sense. In the same way that a dooming is given to a child when they turn the 11th winter, it is in the same way that such prognostications are made by those of my kind. In the same way that your master, Alexei,
Yes.
has practiced. So is it the same god that rolls the sky over over Mahal?
What do you mean?
You know, he was talking about the sun going, and the stars and all. And I once saw this picture. It had them gods cranking this machine that had what looked like day and night time over the whole.
A beautiful metaphor.
The sun. Oh.
A beautiful metaphor, but the heavenly bodies are not guided by gods.
No.
All right.
Tyrion just,
So, I hate to detract it, but it has become my body of work over the long years, and
But Bort, isn't that heresy what he just said?
a little bit.
It's really borderline. It's really borderline.
I mean, for these two don't have any, like, you're utterly religious.
No, I have a
man,
religious background. That's why I'm like, maybe we should just move on.
Okay. All right. Sorry, I just wanted to say it. Okay. I will reread my Libram.
Yes.
And hopefully I'll find
the definition of why my home, father, and family were destroyed. I'm pretty sure that's in there. Thank you.
I'm sorry I cannot answer your question. Consult a priest.
Well, Rasputin. Back to that. So, what could we do to assist you?
My matters now are, I hate to say, but far more pedestrian, I suppose you could say. Although, if one is to believe what has happened post-Penumbra, that nothing now is so pedestrian. The things that happen within our world, the movement of the heavenly bodies, the changes in the wind, the way the ether blows, the smells that pervade the city. Nothing happens in a vacuum. Nothing is without purpose, and everything has an explanation.
Yes.
I'm certain that you know this smell.
Right.
Foul. In fact, there are reports in Riverside that the smell is overwhelming.
Yes.
That it is not just a bad smell, but literally people are walking around with rags over their faces.
So,
some sort of sickness coming from the river?
Well, if you are a physician, one believes that miasma, bad airs, bad vapors, come from below the earth. And we know that here in Durindal, in the Anvil, there are many bad vapors that rise from below, but they don't necessarily always cause sickness. This one, however, cannot be seen, but it can be smelled.
and it is worse than this Riverside.
Horrendous in Riverside. In fact, admittedly, this is not necessarily an endeavor of the Baroness, but more of a personal interest of mine to better understand what is happening. As I said, I'm given the forbearance to pursue my own studies, for even as an advisor to the Baroness, I still have dispensation to see to my own studies and understandings. And this is of particular interest to me.
So he's wanting to study that smell.
I think that I feel that its connection with the passage of Penumbra is not two separate events. I do not believe that things happen in isolation.
Alright.
Alright.
Any idea of the source?
Well, the only evidence I have, or could speak to, my theory at least, is that it originates in Riverside. Why? I don't know.
Alright.
Who's causing it? I couldn't say. Why has it happened? I can't answer that either.
But you seem to think it's coming from underground.
Perhaps.
And individuals are reporting sickness from the stench, or from the vicinity, I should say.
General illness. Turned stomachs.
You want us to go down there and see if we can figure anything out?
Go down where?
To Riverside.
Well, yes, he says. I assumed I was being plain. He smiles, taking it back.
This is
Where were you talking about go down to?
no. This is me trying to,
We'd like to make sure that we confirm.
well,
Exactly.
yeah,
Confirm
just
we
like-
understand.
Yes.
Yes, to investigate
That's it.
this stench.
Okay.
And I know that you, Dufresne, do not work without compensation. I believe I can reward you handsomely with at least 10 gold crowns to begin your investigations. And then perhaps another 5 once you are able to provide evidence of what, who, when, where, whatever may be its source. I can pay you 50 crowns in advance.
The only thing that I see as a potential issue is, avoiding sickness.
Hmm.
Oh, you think we
The-
should get one of them beak masks, like
Like the doctors?
Yeah.
Possibly. You being a more learned man than me, you might know the best way to circumvent.
I entrust that you will make the right decisions to avoid sickness, he says. I'm certain within the 50 crowns I will pay you in advance, you will figure something out.
Suppose that is true.
I still don't think the smell's that bad.
Well, it's not bad here, but
You were lucky.
we haven't gone by the river now, have we?
Well, I would love to speak for all of us and say that I would be more than welcome to go ahead and take care of this issue for you, or at least look into it to the best of our abilities, but I can't speak for everyone here.
I'm glad you said that.
Well, you say we go find out the source of the smell. We go find out the source of the smell.
You think it's enough?
Boss man, that sounds good. Yeah.
It seems fair enough for you.
Seems fair enough. I don't know how long this is going to take us, but...
We thought we had a really good deal when we was lighting lamps, and then look what happened to us.
It does speak that there could be hazards.
Well, at least it's not penumbra.
No.
Taryn shoots you a little bit of a side glance, like, shut up.
I mean, if it's connected like he says, it could be just as dangerous, though. Or even more so, since it's sticking around. Heck, I don't know what to reckon, since we haven't reconnoitered that rim.
He said there would be fair compensation afterwards if the discovery's there.
I do believe him to be a fair man, yes.
Yeah, so, I mean, you mentioned 5 apiece afterward. And what if it's something that's, like, we ended up experiencing a whole bunch of hardship? Is there room, once this is all over, maybe to increase or decrease?
Well, I'm certain that 50 gold crowns will ensure that any sort of hazard you face will be well taken care of.
It's got you there.
I'm just saying, we don't know where all that.
Were you asking for possible compensation should we come to injury?
I'm asking if is that latter part is negotiable. Once we're done, if something wild happens.
Well, like lighting lamps and...
I am of the belief that it is typically well known that those who are honest people, such as the master here, would be more than willing to assist should something horrible happen if the compensation that he's given us is not enough. Yes?
Agreeable, he says.
I'm amenable to it.
I am more.
Excellent.
All right.
So, your investigations will take place immediately, I trust?
Of course.
All right.
In the morning. Yes?
Well, it's midday now.
When you
ain't it?
conclude your investigation, find me again. I am usually around the cloakroom here, but providing there's no astrological event of significant importance.
I shall send a page if need.
Simply consult your holy lee room referring to chapters, layers, zodiac 1 through 12, and that can pretty much determine my schedule. Schedule.
Indeed, as it should. Should we leave you to your meal?
We've barely started, he says. I
That
want to know
is
more about
true.
you, he says. Tell me of your homeworld. Listen up.
Tell me of your homeworld, Usul.
So the story will we will wrap up for tonight as you will share a midday supper with Master Rasputin Hexenstern, one of the advisors to the Baroness and Durindal, and we will wrap up here for the night. So everyone gets 100 reward points.
Awesome.
So to complete the session, we will need to do our corruption roll. So I'm going to roll d10. If it's less than or equal to your corruption, you gain 1 chaos rank. If it is greater than, it's order rank.
1.
3.
Oh.
We didn't get much.
Did you finally get an order?
It's my first order.
That's it.
They do exist for you.
That's right. So, let's go around the table. So, on your side, Harper Claviger, what's your current order in Chaos?
I am
Chaos?
3 order, 1 chaos.
Okay. Elisa Marius.
I am currently 3 order and 2 chaos.
Okay. Banneker Steeples.
4 and 1 order.
Nice. That's good. And for you, Terwin?
1 order and 4 chaos.
Chaos City! So, I think that's it. We will continue the following week with the next 2 episodes. Thank you all for tuning in and listening to Queen of Embers. Really glad that you guys have you to listen in and kind of learn more about this campaign that's going to be written as we go along. Fun stuff. We'll probably release some interesting kind of things that have happened in Chapter 1 for downloads on the Patreon in the near future. Maybe even as this episode is released. We'll find out. So, thank you all once again. We will see you all next week.
Yeah.
See ya.
Bye.
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 Bye.